Update. I, 27 male, am suing my brother, 42 male, and my girlfriend, 23, wants me to disown my parents too. Is she right? Original post. I previously deleted the original post just to be safe. But here's a summary. After I got a degree in computer science, my brother and his two partners recruited me to work a summer for them. They wanted me to set up their infrastructure for their new company in finance and investments. One summer turned into 2 years of free work as a secretary, receptionist, systems tech, personal assistant, accountant, research analyst. They paid me about 4 or 5 times, totaling around $7,000 to $8,000 in 2 years. When I left to start grad school, they were mad that I wouldn't stay. When I finished grad school and put them on my resume, they lied to prospective employers about me. They denied I worked for them and said I was trying to use my brother's name to get ahead. They also accused me of visiting their office and sexually harassing female employees they never even had. I called them to ask them about it, and they, including my brother, just laughed about the whole thing and said I was getting what I deserved. Kind of like, it's what you get when you mess with us. My counselor and some other people from school, including my headhunter, helped me get a job. But I had to sue my brother and his partners for slander and other things. My brother called me to laugh about the lawsuit when they got served, but now they're scared and my brother has my dad pressuring me to drop the lawsuit and just sit down with them both to work something out. My dad called this just a little big brother bullying little brother nonsense and demanded I drop the lawsuit. He and my mom uninvited me to Thanksgiving at their house, but my mom pretty much tried to stay out of it. I could tell this was hard for her. Now for the update. There's very little to update legally in terms of the lawsuit, but I had a laptop that contained lists of clients that my brother and his partners stole from their respective employers before they left to start the company. I didn't want to turn those files over to my attorney because things are bad enough for them already. My girlfriend had a different opinion. She wants me to just absolutely let them have it and crush them. I called my attorney and told him I had the files and dropped them off at his firm on the 9th. On the 10th, I got a call from his firm saying that my attorney needed to see me that very day. I went in, and he said that the files would be turned over to the U.S. Attorney's office, so it's out of our hands now. But he really wanted to talk to me about my parents. He spoke to my dad and basically said that my dad is a world-class prick. He's going to subpoena both my parents to testify at a deposition and probably at trial if we make it that far. He wanted me to prepare myself for what they might say about me. He made it clear there is no turning back now. I didn't pay anything for my attorney to take the case, so his firm is very financially invested in this now. Basically, they're calling the shots. I think my attorney thinks I'm weak or that I'll want to back off or take it easy on them. He actually told me that he knows my family would weaken me. I think he underestimates me. Anyway, he told me to just brace myself for the heat my dad will bring on me. I told him I had 2 older sisters on my side, and my mother was pretty neutral. He assured me that my mother is absolutely not neutral, so he just told me to prepare for anything. So I got phone calls from my 2 sisters, who both live about 300 miles away. They were disgusted with my dad and my brother's behavior and had told me they were 100% behind me. Now they told me that my girlfriend and I are uninvited to go see them and their children this Christmas. They told me they loved me, but that I needed to back off of this lawsuit. This was a little bit of a shock. It didn't crush me, but it wasn't easy to hear. They won't be contacting me anymore and want me not to contact them, and they said they have their reasons. They both cried when they called, but I stayed calm. They also emailed my girlfriend to let her know about being uninvited to their homes for Christmas. My girlfriend blasted them both with a very scathing response that I wish she hadn't sent, but it's her decision how she responds to them. My dad is getting a little out of control. He confronted me and my girlfriend outside the house of a family friend who had us over for a holiday get-together on Sunday night. It got heated, and I said some things that were probably below the belt and made him almost cry. His eyes watered, and he was trying not to cry. Then my girlfriend jumped in and blasted him like she did my sisters. Basically, she's on a roll right now. I can tell the gloves have come off for her. My mom just stayed in my dad's truck and watched, but she couldn't hear anything, I don't think. For now, there's nothing else going on. Oh, one other thing. My attorney said my brother and his partners closed doors on their business already. They went under. They have filed some puzzling and contradictory responses to our lawsuit, which surprises me because my brother is smarter than that, usually. They have now changed attorneys and retained a reputable firm. The first thing the new attorneys did was ask what it would take to settle. My attorney says their new attorneys are smart. They know it will be a bloodbath in court. I guess I'll just have to wait and see where it goes from here. But some of you commented from experience that the blowback from legal battles like this tears families apart for decades sometimes. I can see how this can happen and probably will. Now for the top comments before reading the last update. You're absolutely in the right here. I am sorry your sisters turned their backs on you like that, but your girlfriend seems to have a good head on her, if a little heated. Rifts can heal, but you do not deserve to be treated this way. Good luck, and make sure to keep us posted. Yeah, when my dad told us that it should tell us something, that the family's on his side and knows we're wrong, my girlfriend told him something like, "There's a big difference between people taking your side and people knowing you're right. They took your side because they owe you money, and you coerced them into it. But they know you're in the wrong here. It should tell you something that you have to bribe people to be on your side. That's what should clue you in that you're wrong." My dad just looked at her, disgusted and angry, but I've never seen him speechless like that. I feel like your sisters were coerced by your opposing family members to cut you off. Do you know if this is what happened? I'm sure that's what happened. They didn't tell me anything other than they have their reasons. They said it hurts them a lot to do this to me and that they loved me and always will, but they didn't tell me why exactly they suddenly changed their minds. Frankly, I didn't want to know why. I just wanted to hang up the phone as soon as I could. It was hurtful to hear them say they wanted to cut all contact. In fact, I'm glad I didn't stay on the phone long enough to hear those reasons, because that just would have made it harder to stomach the whole thing. Now for the update 5 months later. Okay, let me begin by saying that I am not the original poster. I am his girlfriend. We live together, and I read the update post. My boyfriend is moving on and wasn't going to post a final update, so I asked if I could, and he said yes. Things have wrapped up. They signed a settlement agreement, and now it's up to the judge to approve it. The judge won't do that for 2 more weeks, but apparently it's a formality. It's a sure thing he'll approve it, or at least that's what the attorneys say. As far as the settlement, I can't really disclose much, but I can say that it's close to what my boyfriend was suing for in terms of the money figure. They had transferred their houses to their wives' names, which are in the process of being sold to pay off the settlement. The settlement included a written apology and complete admission of guilt from all 3 of the defendants. They also have to write apology letters and retractions to all the employers that refused to hire my boyfriend based on them slandering him. I think there were 4 companies in all. All 3 of them had their licenses taken away and will never work as financial advisors again in any state. They will also face a criminal investigation due to some forged signatures on some of the deals they made, which will lead to conviction but probably no jail time, according to the experts. Financially, they are beyond ruined, which is what I thought they deserved the whole time. I know my boyfriend regrets this whole thing, and I understand that. It's still his family, and they were close at some point. I think he's better off without them anyway, but that's easy for me to say. His parents are totally a lost cause. I don't think there will be a reconciliation in this lifetime after what's happened. I thought my boyfriend would be open to one when the dust settled, but now I don't. During the mediation hearings, his mom and dad both testified. They both lied, but I knew his crooked dad would. I was shocked that the mother lied about there having been a verbal agreement that my boyfriend would work for his brother's company in exchange for room and board at the parents' house, and that the dad had also been paying him in cash for working. She said she witnessed my boyfriend refusing payment from his brother many times. She lied about a lot of other very hurtful things right there, while my boyfriend sat there and watched her. She never looked at him, not once. His dad never looked at him either, but at least he sat there the whole time after he testified to support his older son and his friends. His mother left the room crying after she testified. I was not shocked that she testified because the attorney had said she might, but I was extremely shocked about the horrible things she said about my boyfriend. She will someday regret doing that to her son. Ugh, such an awful, revolting, and repulsive thing she did. What she did to her youngest son is inexcusable. I was beyond utterly disgusted that she did that. Ugh, she really has no clue how much damage she did to her youngest son. I doubt he'll ever get over it, and I doubt he will ever want to see her again. Not to rant about the mother, but she lied and said disgusting things about her youngest son, and he's the only good son she has. He's the only one who doesn't owe his dad anything. He's the only one with compassion and high morals, the only one who constantly worried about her and kept in touch with her. Ugh, she messed up in the most disgusting way. How can she do that? He was there for her more than her other 3 kids put together. All for a lawsuit that she had to know they were going to lose. Her testimony did nothing to help their case. Nothing. She testified for absolutely no reason. We sent Christmas gifts to my boyfriend's sisters and their daughters. We received thank you cards in return. They haven't contacted my boyfriend since, but I have received a couple of hello emails from one of them. She never mentions my boyfriend or the family problems. She just says hello and asks how I'm doing. I just respond by saying we are both good and hope they are all doing well. I'm not sure where this will go, but it's a small step in what seems like will be a long road before they are allowed by their father to reconcile with their brother, or until they have the courage to do so without their dad's blessing. I think they are both too embarrassed to contact my boyfriend directly. I can sense that they are trying to find a way that will eventually lead them to him. I think they need to just contact him, but that's not my decision. I keep looking at this from my perspective, and my family is really close, so it's hard to watch what's going on with his family. I just think, what the hell? Why do you do this to each other? But that's just how it is. Just to be clear, I knew very early on that my boyfriend's parents were toxic. I initially just wanted him to cut all ties with them, since the way they sided with the older brother, knowing how he tried to destroy his own little brother's career, told me a lot. I wished back then that my boyfriend would just disown them, but I knew that was unrealistic at the time. I knew I was emotional, and I backed off when I saw how stressed my boyfriend was. But things escalated and escalated, and now I think my boyfriend's mom has dealt a death blow to any chance of reconciliation. I'm not just saying that because I'm against it. I'm not for it, and I'm disgusted with her. But I can see the damage she did up close. I'm afraid he may never forgive her. She just went overboard in such a horrible way. I have been talking to my dad about this the whole time, and everything has turned out exactly the way he said it would. Everybody, all parties are destroyed. It's like a bomb went off and everybody got hit. Wow, the fact that his own mom testified against him, essentially picking the crappy son over the good son, that is horrible. It made me feel so sad and hollow inside. I can't even begin to imagine how your boyfriend must feel. I don't know if I could ever forgive that either. I see stuff like this so often though. Parents take their obedient, loyal children for granted while they move heaven and earth to help the rotten ones. You sound like an amazing girlfriend. Hopefully your family can welcome him with open arms and give him the kind of love and support that he's been denied. It is absolutely terrible what his mom did, but I don't think she was picking the crappy son over the good son, so much as she was simply choosing to side with her husband to the fullest. She may not have seen herself as having much choice. Lose one son, or lose the entire rest of her family and her marriage and home. And that's not even taking into account the possibility that her husband threatened her into it somehow. She certainly didn't seem to feel righteous in testifying against her son. She couldn't even look at him, and then ran away crying. Those are, potentially, the actions of someone who felt coerced. It's sad that she didn't have the courage to go against everyone else, but with the cards stacked the way they were, I find myself feeling some sympathy for her. This was exactly my thought. Her punishment will be having to live with that decision for the rest of her life. It would be so tough having to choose between going through a divorce and cutting ties with the majority of her family versus doing the right thing and saving the relationship with her one son. I would hope that in that situation I would do the right thing, but there might be more barriers than we know about in her moral predicament. I suspect that the majority of people who are emotionally vulnerable or easily coerced would probably side with their partner in this situation. You'd have to have ironclad determination and the willpower to uphold your moral beliefs in this situation and be willing to risk everything for what is right. To be honest, I don't think I can give her that much benefit of the doubt. She had choices. She would not have been financially strained even if she lost her husband. She knew that because my boyfriend always let her know that before things got really ugly when they were still talking. She had a choice, and she knew how disgusting a person her husband is to everybody he comes in contact with. She had a choice, and it wasn't a bad choice. She had very good options. I really hate her right now. She hurt her son worse than she will ever know. Last story. My sister tried to steal my baby during postpartum. When my daughter was born, it was one of the hardest times of my life. I had a difficult C-section recovery, I wasn't sleeping, and I was struggling with postpartum depression. Every day felt like a battle to just make it through while caring for my newborn. My sister offered to come stay with me for a while, and at first, I was grateful. I thought she would truly help, maybe cook, clean, or give me a chance to shower and rest. But very quickly, I realized her version of help was something very different. Instead of supporting me, she started acting like my daughter was hers. She would rush to pick the baby up even when I was right there, as if I wasn't capable of holding my own child. She constantly corrected me, saying things like, "You're not swaddling her tight enough," or "She doesn't like being held that way." It wasn't just the comments though, it was the way she would edge me out, physically pushing herself between me and my baby. The worst moment came one afternoon when I tried to take a short nap. I woke up and realized the baby wasn't in her bassinet. I panicked and searched the house, only to find my sister in another room with the door locked, rocking my daughter. I asked her what she was doing, and she brushed it off by saying, "You were so tired, I thought I should just take her for a bit." But the look on her face told me everything. It wasn't just help to her. She genuinely acted like she had some kind of claim over my child. That was the breaking point for me. I told her she was no longer welcome in my house and that she couldn't be around my baby until she understood boundaries. She left angry, and since that day she hasn't spoken to me. My parents think I'm being too harsh and that I should forgive her because she just loves the baby so much. But to me, love without respect is dangerous. I don't care if it costs me my relationship with my sister or even with my parents. I will burn every bridge if I have to. Protecting my daughter comes first, always. Now for the top comments. Write down everything to document while it is fresh. Dates, times, etc. If someone says you are being too harsh, ask them what she told them. If they hear it from you and still side with her, cut them out. Honestly, because this is such huge red flag behavior, make clear boundaries with her. Ensure she comes nowhere near your child. This isn't the sort of behavior you just brush off while alarm bells are ringing. Your parents' assessment is irrelevant. You're an adult, and differences between you and your sister don't need to be settled by mom and dad anymore. You don't feel like your family is safe with your sister around, so she doesn't get to be around.